My co-host, Mom, me, Nathan.
Hey, I'm Sandy. It's December 31st, 2024. So it's New Year's Eve, even though it's during the day. We thought we'd do this outside because we live in beautiful Florida. The other day when we did our first one, the weather was yucky, so we were having a winter day, which was rainy. So we just wanted to talk about how thankful we were for this year and some of the things that stand out for me with Nathan is when he prays every day, one of the first things he says is that he's thankful for the breath in his lungs. And if you knew Nathan before the accident, that wasn't really something that he probably would say he's thankful for. So it's the basic, right? Yeah. So we're happy that you're at that place. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy we're here. I'm breathing. Yep. So anyway, so Nathan had a couple things. We just wanted to talk for a minute about how thankful we are ending out the year. I'm thankful for a great friends and family and support group. Obviously, I'm thankful for Nathan's survival and recovery. This year's been a little bit slower, and we've had what I would call a few setbacks. So that's a little discouraging. Has been discouraging for a mom, and I'm sure it's a little discouraging for Nathan. It's annoying. Yeah. Because, you start making some progress and then you kind of go back. Yeah, so, but it's all right. Well, you try so hard, but you don't succeed. Okay, so one thing that was, I think the biggest thing that stood out this year.
Starting college again,
yeah.
I'm back in.
You're back in.
I'm a student again.
And this was something that really, before the accident, Nathan had had a couple of attempts. Two attempts. Just two. And didn't do so well. So at the time of the accident, he was working at an auto body shop and just kind of working and trying to figure out what it was he really wanted to do. So he was very discouraged. He needs a nap again today. This might be the thing that happens every time we do a video, because you're just still and not playing or whatever. Anyway, so that wasn't really something that Nathan thought he would do again. He desperately wanted to go back to college, but we as his parents, we were like, let's just take a step back and you focus on getting a job and doing something different for a little bit until you feel like you get things put together. So it's different this time, but what do you think?
It's good.
It's
good.
good.
Got 4.0 now.
4.0, yeah, for this semester. We started out with one class. He goes to Southeastern University, the Christ Fellowship. It's a satellite campus, Christ Fellowship campus here in Palm Beach Gardens. They have about 150 students, so they do 8-week semesters. So he did one class, which is, workload wise is the equivalent of 2. So it was a pretty good load for him to start. And of course we didn't know. I mean, we just I kind of felt like God was putting it on my heart that this is something that he could do when we did it. And all the doors were open. So it was really good. So that helped with Nathan's confidence. Nathan he had very low confidence, right?
But the most important part was that I walked through the door.
Yes, you walked through the door. That's right. That is the most important part.
Just to get open, walk through it.
Yes, that's right. You didn't leave it open and
It followed.
Yes, you followed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And so Nathan's been really wanting to talk about God's timing. So that's something to be said. Like he graduated in 2020 with all the other poor children that graduated that year, and he was probably one of very few in the whole country that actually had a graduation ceremony, which was really cool. So we were thankful for that. But he missed out on the last 2 months of the school year, which was like the best part of his school year, and his baseball team was doing amazing, and he missed out on half of those games, and so it was, the season just shut down. So we were thankful we were in Florida because we could actually get outside and do stuff more than the other country, and we opened up pretty quick. But he went to school in Maryland that first year, and it was tough. My mom passed away, his Nana, within a month of him going to school. So that was really hard, on top of the sort of being locked in the dorms. They sort of locked you in. So it was a really hard start to anyone's college career, and he was so far away, so that was another thing. But he did, the one really good thing from that college was his best friend. He met his best friend, so he has a really great friend from there. He has a couple other friends, but he calls his best friend AJ from there. So we're very fortunate that he met AJ there. So we love AJ, and so anyway, he was really bitter at the time of the accident that wasn't an opportunity for. He really desperately wanted to go to school. He said he should be in school. He felt like he should be in school, right? And he was kind of angry about it. I mean, he was getting better.
I was angry at myself.
Yeah, because it was more you were doing. It wasn't that you couldn't do the work, right? You're a pretty smart guy. We'll talk about that in another episode, but you're a pretty smart guy. And
out there.
yeah. But so it wasn't that he wasn't capable of doing the work. It was that he couldn't juggle all the things that he wanted to do. And I'm sure all of you.
Nefarious activities.
Yeah, nefarious activities. Probably not nefarious. That's like illegal. But things that you chose to do. There was some illegal. We don't want to talk about that.
No.
We're not talking about that. But anyway, God shut that down twice, and he really wanted to play baseball is the reason why he went to those schools. So, and that was shut down too. So that was really heartbreaking on a couple of levels for him. But we talk about it a lot now. God's timing. We want things so bad, right?
Yeah, we talk about how timing. You want these things to happen now, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what we want. When God will give it to us, it's perfect timing.
Correct.
It's about our perfect timing. There's no concept about God's timing.
Yeah, because we want, there's a whole lot of things we want that God's like, no. And thank God he's done that, right? Yeah. There's a whole lot of things. I mean, I'm obviously a lot older than you, but there's a whole lot of things in my life that I wanted at a certain time, or God closed the door. I mean, I lost jobs and all kinds of things. And it's heartbreaking, and it's devastating, and it's you feel like failure, and a lot of times God's moving you from one place to get you to another because he knows you're not going to leave that place, right? I think, and there's a lot in all things that we go through, the disappointments and things that we learn, that's the struggles, right, that God growth, that God puts us through. So anyway, we just wanted to touch on that. We wanted to give an encouraging word that we are so thankful that God's worked the way he's worked in our lives, mine and my husband's life and my family's, as well as Nathan's. So we're hoping that you all have a great new year, as we would love a great new year. And we're excited that Nathan's going to be doing, he's going to stay at the one class per semester, the 8-week semester load. So for these next 2 8-week semesters. So we're excited. He's going to start with English, and then he's going to do college algebra, which he does well with both of those. He does really well with writing, and he was really good in math. So this will be a good read on how well you can do with like academic, because before it was academic. Yeah. Before it was academic, but it was something that he really, really loves. The course that he took first was the interpretation of the New Testament. Yeah.
Basically a history class.
History, yeah, kind of like history class of the New Testament. So that was really fun for Nathan, and he did really well in the writing. And one other thing I wanted to say that he's super proud of, not only is he proud of getting an A and doing well, because that was hard work, right? With all that you've been through, is that he wrote a paper to get a scholarship. And
10%, baby.
yeah,
10%.
10%. So he's saying 10% because the college class is about $3,000, and he got a scholarship for about $300. He actually won that scholarship, and so he was super proud of that. We were proud, of course, too. And one thing that he said the day, this is just one fun little thing at the end, the day that he had taken his midterm test, and then he had gotten his grade back that day for his midterm paper. He said he got an A on both 100 and then an A on his paper. 100 on the paper and 100 on the test too, I believe. And then we were doing something a little while later, and he got a big old grin, and he said, "Hey, Mom," what'd you say?
Becoming a learned man.
A learned man. He was becoming a learned man. So those of you who are Step Brothers fans, you'll get that.
It's be a house full of learned men.
It'll be a house full of learned men, yeah, because we have Jared too. So anyway, we're gonna touch on a couple real fun topics, or there's gonna be some serious ones. As I've been thinking about this over the last week, I want to get my husband. Me and my husband, I want him to do some with me. He's one of these guys that he's got to have like points and practice and all this stuff. So I hope I can get him on and he'll feel comfortable. I kind of like, I just kind of know what I want to talk about in my head, and then I probably run a little long, but
You can talk.
You can too. You're a talker too. Dad's a talker.
Where'd it come from?
I don't know. Not me. I'm not clear.
Sure. Okay.
But anyway, so we're and I would love to get my other son on here, because I do want some of these to be very pointed to going through.
He's a busy man.
He is a busy man. My other son is a busy man.
He works in the family.
Yeah, he's the only working man in the family at the moment. So we always go, like, you need to get to work. We need some money. Yes. So anyway, but so we just wanted to get on. I want to get. I want to have one with him where we can talk about how he navigated through it, because it was probably about the worst time. That Nathan's accident happened about the worst time for him. He was going into his last semester, becoming an engineer. Did I say architect earlier?
Last episode.
I think I just said he was an architect. No, he's not an architect. He's an engineer.
He's a working man.
Working man. But anyway, he's an engineer. So he had a huge a whole class that was a huge project. So he had to get a counselor, and he had to get some help because he was really struggling, and he didn't want to talk to us about it.
He's an engineer.
Yeah, so he's in fact an engineer.
Made it.
A mechanical engineer. So anyway, so I'm trying to cut this down. So I want to do that too. I want to do a lot with Nathan, but I also there was like half of the year that Nathan really wasn't aware fully of what was going on in his from the time of the accident to into his rehab. So as a family, my husband and I and my other son, as well as our extended family, had a whole lot going on. So I think a lot of that I want to talk about. I might do some just by myself, so we'll see how comfortable I am with that. But I'm hoping you guys are liking it, and we wish you a happy new year.
Good luck. Be safe.
Be safe.
God bless.
God bless. Yep. No sleeping and driving.
No. Just don't.
Just don't.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. We'll see ya.